I've been in the market for a new truck, and I'm wondering, has GM fixed their transmission valve body issues? That's the question on my mind. I'm actually evaluating Ram, Ford, all the vehicles out there, but man, they have issues all around. So I'm gonna hit some of the groups. I'm gonna try to find some reliability data and see if maybe the 25s have fixed the valve body issue. So let's dive in, and we're gonna look at the newer valve bodies that Next Gen Drivetrain tore down and compare them to the old ones as well. I wanna make it clear that not everyone is having these problems. I know people get mad in the comments saying, I haven't had a problem, and I just think there's too many problems for new vehicles. I don't think that vehicles that are 5 years old or less should be having these issues. Just my personal opinion. I don't care how many they sell. And here's one from Clay. He's got a 10-speed. He says it finally took a dump on him at 65,000 miles. What's everybody's experienced? I think I know why this one failed. Clay, it's because of those wheels. So guys, if you put those wheels on, you're guaranteed a transmission failure. Obviously, I'm kidding, but... So you see these very frequently, which it just kind of irritates me. I probably wouldn't even be looking at a used one of these under any circumstance. 16 hours ago, hi, I'm new to this group. I have a 2022 GMC Yukon that broke down on me 5 weeks ago. Once it was towed to the dealership, I was told that it was the valve body and would take 1 to 2 weeks to get the part. I'm now going on week 5, and the dealership says they aren't sure when the part will be in. So, you know, this is still going on, and General Motors knows about it, and their lots are just packed with brand new vehicles. So you know they have the parts. It's just this excuse that they can't divert them from one supply chain to the other. I mean, by now, given how long this problem's been going on, GM should have these stocked at every single dealership. They should have like 10. It's kind of crazy. And this was on April 5th. It's a text saying that the screen got blown out on the 10L1000. which I believe is the Allison, and this is pretty common. Next Gen has a plate fix as well. They've been doing this for 4 years, and no, I'm not sponsored by Next Gen. So watch this.
Another 10L1000 with the same screen blown out of the same circuit on this plate. And this thing, I think the converter came apart, it's full of aluminum. I'm pretty much tempted to eliminate these screens at this point.
And this one's coming in on March 30th. He's new to the group, recently joined because he recently purchased a 2023 GMC Sierra 3500 with the Duramax and the 10-speed to replace their 2015. The 2023 only had 21,000 miles on it. Less than 1,000 miles later, the truck is at the dealership having the valve body replacement because it locked up the rear wheels while towing through a bunch of codes. Awesome stuff. 2023. Here's a guy with a 2021 Duramax. He says, new to the group, I have a 2021 GMC 1500 with a 3-liter Duramax, 10-speed transmission, having the same issue. He took the truck in for the software update. That's the recall to prevent the rear wheel lockup, and it did nothing. Within 50 miles of picking it up, it was locking up again. So in his case, the software didn't even fix the rear wheel lockup. At least he has a little bit higher mileage. He's got over 150,000 miles on it. So there's that. I mean, we don't know the maintenance on this. I'm trying to be fair in this situation. I'm not going to just sit there and say they're all junk, especially if they're high mileage. But in a 3-liter Duramax in a truck that's touted to tow 12,000 pounds, most people would expect that to last past 150,000 without transmission issues. I do want to show you this post. Someone asked, so how many of you have the 2020 through 2025 and you pull trailers, have a lot of miles with no issues? I thought this was an interesting post because you're trying to get an idea of how many people just don't have any issues with higher mileage. First guy here said he had a 2020 2500 HD, 98,000 miles, no issue. He performed the software update maybe 100 miles later, went into limp mode, and now he was waiting for a replacement. So that one, maybe the software caused a problem, but it's probably on its way out already. Next one down, 2020 3500, 50,000 miles, no issues. They have an old truck, 2022 3500 with 170,000 miles. They haven't had any problems. So that's probably one of the better ones in here. Got another one, 2020 2500, full-time RVers with a 13,000-pound fifth wheel, 130,000 miles. 1/3 of it is towing, 49 states, half of Canada so far, no major hiccups. 2020 3500, 165,000 miles, 40-foot toy hauler, Alaska once, Florida 5 times, doing fine. Probably not a lot of towing, but he has a 3500. I would assume he tows more than 5 or 6 times, you'd hope. And then you get weird stuff like 2023 GMC 3500 Denali, pulled 15,000 pound fifth wheel, 32,000 miles, had to replace the valve body. So kind of all over the place. And obviously GM sold a ton of these trucks. So there's going to be more, most likely without problems than do have problems. It's just frustrating that there are so many with these issues in these Facebook groups and forums. So the biggest question for me, at least if I'm looking at a new vehicle, whether it's Ram, GM, anybody, I want to know if they fixed the problems. The same thing goes for Toyota. You know, we don't know if the Tundra's fixed. We've seen 2025s fail. And we also get reports like this. This is from Next Gen Drivetrain. Now they have incentive to sell their valve body, so you have to balance that out. But they have done a lot of valve bodies and people love their product. So I think you have to give them credit where credit's due. They have 5-star rating on Google. It's not like Next Gen Drivetrain hasn't done something good here. They've got an updated valve body to fix the problem. However, they say, worst of all, the updated valve body, they're talking about the updated valve body from General Motors in like the 2025 version of the Sierra or Silverado. They said they claim to be releasing this updated valve body and it does not appear to fix the problem. How do we know? We sourced one from an insider and disassembled it, only to find out nominal changes that did not directly impact the problem. Now, they do have a couple of the valves, so it does seem like GM attempted to update the valve body a little bit. And this update is coming from Next Gen Drivetrain, who builds the updated valve body. This is Will Flores. This is in the Facebook groups. It's not on their website. He said, I just wanted to update clients with some information. We recently obtained a newer OEM 10L1000 valve body. Here's a picture of the only difference we found. The left is the original design feed limit valve. The middle is the updated feed limit valve from General Motors. So both the left and the middle are from GM. Only one of the two was changed, slightly harder material to slow down valve wear. On the right is their Next Gen Drivetrain feed limit valve. They changed both. So they do a different design with some O-rings, as you can see there. And they seem to be holding up a little bit better with this design. It's good to see that General Motors did update it with harder materials. However, as you can see that those valves look very similar. So maybe we'll see how this update goes. And that seems to be one of the only updates that they've provided, General Motors has provided in their transmission. Maybe this will get people through 100, 150,000 with no issues. We'll see. Only time's going to tell. It's a little bit tough because the 25s don't have a lot of miles on them, but there are already some complaints floating into the NHTSA website. Let's check those out real quick. February 4th, 2025, transmission is shifting rough. Not sure if it's really a valve body problem, but that tends to be the symptoms you see. This one is a little bit more concerning because it's a 25 and it's still the same issue. Freeway at 65 miles an hour. The truck experienced hard gear shift, loss of acceleration, went into shutdown, loss of steering. So kind of sounds like the rear wheel lockup. It's hard to say because they don't actually specify here. Now on the Silverado side, 1500 for the 2025s. I don't see any transmission complaints yet, so that's good. Jump back to the 2025 Sierra 2500. No complaints yet. That's good. And same thing with the 3500s. No complaints on the transmissions yet. But on the Silverado side, the 2025 2500. So here we are, transmission lockup while driving. Rear end of the vehicle jumped and felt like I was rear-ended. I just personally don't think we should be seeing 2025s already having these issues. They don't have hardly any miles on them, so... And I know folks will say, well, it's just one. Yeah, it's just one 2025. These trucks haven't been out, 6 months? Come on. And on the Silverado side, the 3500s look good so far. No transmission complaints. And then we have folks like Thomas Loveless here. He doesn't love my YouTube channel. He's looking to purchase a 2025, and then he watched my YouTube videos, and then he decided that he thinks that my videos are sensationalized, trying to drive people to my YouTube channel to be engaged. Obviously, it's a real issue, but it's hard for normal people to understand the percentage of trucks that have the problem. Yeah, no kidding. This is a masterclass, Thomas, in justifying your purchase. You're actually just trying to justify making your purchase because you want the vehicle. I do the same thing. That's how I know. And many people do. You're trying to weigh that out and find out, well, I can do the valve body upgrade on my own. And I've done this internally as well in my own head. The reason I do these videos is because I want General Motors, Toyota, all these manufacturers to stop putting out garbage that doesn't last through warranty. And I consider this garbage when you look at one company, tiny little company that has a fix, a valve body fix that you are admitting that you will probably install. I think GM should probably install that on their own, and they should have just sucked it up and licensed it from next gen, or whatever they had to do to get this issue resolved. I know there's all sorts of testing and things that go into this, but this issue is going on 5 years now. I can't make excuses for General Motors or Toyota or any of these companies anymore. For what these trucks cost, they should not have these issues. And it's not just trucks, it's their Corvettes, it's everything. It's across the board with these valve bodies. Don't know what to tell you, man. Buy the truck, chances are you're probably not going to have problems. But if you do, you might be stuck, 1,000 miles from home. That's just kind of rolling the dice with any of these brands. So get what you like and enjoy it, man. Thanks for watching. Till next time.